Hi everyone, I'm David Delano. You can check me out at getsportstrong.com along with BetOn, getsportstrong.com with Captain. Look at all my articles and handicapping picks. I'm going to make this real quick. Up tonight, I see everyone rambling about who should be in the college football playoffs, so I thought I should briefly put in my 2 cents. Now, you're probably looking at the shirt. Look at this guy. He's biased. You're just probably ready to turn the video off. Give me just a moment. So, this is my pick as far as being completely unbiased. Who would I put in the college football playoff if I was on the committee? Now, really, it's only about the fourth spot, which is really between Alabama and Ohio State. You could make an outside argument for USC, but it's not USC for me. Top three teams are obvious. Number one, I'm going to go with Clemson. I think that's obvious. Number two, Georgia. Number three, Oklahoma. A lot of people are saying Oklahoma 2, Georgia 3, whatever. Doesn't matter. 2 and 3 are going to play each other. It doesn't matter. So you got Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma, top three. So let's look at the fourth spot. First of all, looking at Ohio State and Alabama, I think Ohio State has better wins overall. It's kind of tough during the middle of the season to say who is really better with some of their wins in the Big Ten versus some of the teams in the SEC. However, Ohio State had a win over Penn State, who was in the top four at the time. They beat Wisconsin in that Big Ten championship, who was number 4. Good blowout win over Michigan State. And can't discount the Michigan win as well. That's still a very good win. Now, you look at Alabama. Alabama's wins, they beat Florida State first game of the season. Florida State was in the top 3 at the time, but Florida State finished 6-6. They just qualified for a bowl game. Fresno State was one of their better wins, and then they had some solid wins in the SEC. LSU was a pretty good win. LSU did lose to Troy, but LSU was a good win. Mississippi State. Mississippi, Texas A&M, not really great wins, solid wins, but for the caliber Alabama is, their schedule could have been a little better. Now, when you look at the losses, though, Ohio State definitely has the worst losses. The Oklahoma loss 31-16 at home. Obviously, Oklahoma's a playoff team. Not a lot of shame in that. You look at Alabama, though, their one loss to Auburn at Auburn, a big rivalry game, 26-14. You can say, yeah, Oklahoma's better than Auburn, but that's still not a terrible loss. I don't care what anyone says. Losing to Auburn was not a terrible loss. Now that Ohio State, it's really hard to give Ohio State a pass for that 54-24 loss at Iowa. I know Alabama, because of that one loss, they're not a conference champion. Ohio State is a conference champion, but it's hard to really give Ohio State a pass for that loss at Iowa. And then when you really look at it, picture Ohio State in the playoffs, picture Alabama in the playoffs. Who's really going to be favored to win a lot of these games? I think that if you put Alabama in there, and you're looking at it from Vegas' perspective, I think Alabama could possibly be a favorite over Clemson. Wouldn't be surprised if they were. I definitely think Alabama would be a favorite over Georgia and over Oklahoma. With Ohio State, I don't think that they'd be favored to win all those games. Ohio State got a little bit of a pass last year, not being a conference champion, and they got rolled by Clemson in the playoffs. So it's really tough to say. I can see the committee putting Ohio State in. However, if I am on the committee, my pick is going to be Alabama. Just being unbiased, I feel like that those two losses, that loss at Iowa has to count for something, and then Alabama. If the Tide get in there, you can honestly would have a hard time betting against them to win the whole thing. So for me, the college football playoff teams are Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Alabama. That's just my take. Everyone else was giving their 2 cents. That's just mine. We'll find out shortly anyway. Thanks so much for watching my video. Let me know what you think. Feel free to send me a message, leave a comment, and God bless.